What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to TD Fans Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Make sure you hit the like button on your way in the building. Let your friends and family members know about the channel as always. We continue to do bigger and better things here on the channel. So thank you, everyone who's tuning in. The Miami Dolphins, it's time to face reality. And here it is. We're going to talk about a few things here. We're going to talk about Chris Grier's fate, Mike McDaniel's fate, Tua Tagovailoa's fate, and a little bit of, is there a draft strategy? What do the Miami Dolphins want to do, and how will the rest of the season play out? What are they trying to accomplish? What are they trying to do? All right, so make sure you punch the like button. Check in the chat. Shout out to the Mod Squad. Shout out to all the members of the channel. If you're new, again, hit that subscribe button. And salute to all the Patreon members that have joined the Patreon, being a member of the team. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Chris G was the first one in the building today. Salute to you. JD the Great, Juan Gonzalez, J Pagan One is in the building. BSC Property Maintenance, man. Salute to you. I'm not sure why you're not a mod. Let me do some mods, and then we're going to get started in literally 1 minute, all right? We're going to get started in 1 minute. Shake Money in the house as well. All right. All right, we're good. Let's go ahead and get started. Top of the hour, while people are coming in, you got to hit the like button because YouTube, they don't send the notifications out to all the viewers for some reason. So hit the like button and they'll start sending it out. This stream is being powered by Sleeper. You got an opportunity to get a $100 deposit match up to $100 using code TD PHINS. All right. Let me say that one more time, using code TD PHINS. So take advantage of that opportunity. All right. They also have a brand new promo right now. I want y'all to take advantage of. It is a $20 entry, no deposit needed. So just by signing up for Sleeper, they have a promotion, $20 entry. You'll be able to, basically, they're going to give you an opportunity, $20 worth of entry. So even if you don't deposit anything, try it out. That way you can see if you like it. I also have them. I do my fantasy through Sleeper as well, which I'm 4-1. That same draft that everybody said, TD don't know what he's doing in fantasy. Yes, I am 4-1. And my entire roster, even the bench, nobody scored less than 10 points last week. I'm just loaded. My entire team was over 10 points, 20 points, and my entire bench was over 10 points. So your boy is loaded. Okay. Someone said, TD, can't hear you. Y'all verify in the chat. Can you hear me? I want to make sure my audio is good. All right. I want to make sure my audio is good. Sometimes some people's servers be messed up, and sometimes it's just them, or it's me. So I can hear. Everybody can hear. That's you, Daniel. Something's wrong on your end, okay? Just FYI. All right. So let's go ahead and get into it. And I want to start out by saying that Stephen Ross is at the top of all of this. And Stephen Ross is getting frustrated. He's getting frustrated, okay? And I'm going to make some predictions here, and I'm going to talk about each individual and their fate. And I want to start at the top, which is Chris Grier. To be quite honest with you, I personally am not sure if Chris Grier, the top of the top, is just where the beginning is of the issue. There are people above Chris Grier. There are all these advisors in the front office and all of that type of stuff. I don't know if they've been advising Ross correctly all this time, because if they had, they would have never had gone down this path. Okay. So I think there needs to be some type of accountability in that regards as well. But we don't know the details. We don't know what's happening up there. But I do know this. Ross signed off on every decision made. And there you have it. Accountability. But we will start at Chris Grier. So there's a lot of people who keep on speculating about Chris Grier, whether he's going to be here or not, or if he's going to stay and move into a different position. What many people don't realize is what's happened in the immediate history of the Miami Dolphins, within the last several years, right? We have to understand that this might be a delicate situation. When you really look at the statistics and facts, Chris Grier is the longest tenured general manager in the entire NFL who has not won a playoff game. Longest tenured general manager without a playoff win. Longest tenured. And it's almost like, how does this guy continue to survive regime after regime? And what have I been telling y'all for 3 years now? I admire Chris Grier's ability to survive. I mean, and y'all know I used to make jokes about it. This isn't anything new. And now people are starting to understand what I meant by that. I admire his ability to survive. And here he is continuing to survive. Now, with that being said, I think that we're coming up on an impasse, a moment where a huge decision on Chris Grier has to be made. And a lot of people are like, what's the big deal? Just fire him. Well, what many of you aren't considering is the Brian Flores situation. Brian Flores, when he exited in Miami, he was due money by the Dolphins that they didn't pay for whatever reason. They felt they had cause to move on and everything. Now, Brian Flores has made some critical accusations. Accusations. I don't know why I said assumptions. But he's made some critical accusations against the NFL and many teams therein, and the Miami Dolphins, obviously. Now, Brian Flores has sued the NFL. Brian Flores and his lawyer has been fighting to have the case in open court, jury of peers. Everybody can see everything. The NFL doesn't operate that way. The NFL has things in a closed door arbitration. So initially, the judge awarded Brian Flores and his lawyer a huge win by saying, okay, yes, you can move forward with your lawsuit. And you can do it in open court. The NFL has since appealed through the federal courts. And as of 2 days ago, a ruling came down from the federal courts giving Brian Flores yet another victory, in which the federal courts have also deemed this needs to be in open court. The accused cannot be the judge. Being Roger Goodell cannot be the judge of something that he is being paid to protect. That is biased at a whole nother level, which will shift and change the future of the NFL, because the NFL has been allowed to get away with this for a very long time. If the NFL does something wrong, they go to the commissioner reviews everything and rules, typically in favor of the NFL. But this situation was a little interesting because Brian Flores made a lot of allegations against the Dolphins, such as the Miami Dolphins tried to pay him, massive amounts of money for every game that he lost. They were intentionally trying to tank. They were tampering with Brady and Sean Payton. They tried to set Flores up on a yacht and meet with them. And Brian Flores showed up to the yacht not knowing Tom Brady was on the way. The owner told him Tom Brady is on the way for us to talk to him to try to convince him to come to Miami. And instead of staying, Brian Flores, the lawsuit says he got up and left before Brady even got there. But they did confirm that Brady ended up showing up. And by the way, let me say this too. This is a piece that nobody really talks about. Everyone loves to say Brian Flores snitched on us and lost us a draft pick. But the truth is, Tom Brady snitched on us. In my allegedly, in my opinion. Why do I say that? Because Brian Flores was an allegation. He wasn't there to see Tom Brady there. He left before Tom Brady came. So who verified that Tom Brady was there? Remember the NFL interviewed Tom Brady about the situation? And when that interview was done, what happened? The Dolphins lost the first round pick for tampering with Brady and Sean Payton. So that's where your real snitch is one thing for the allegation of Flores, but it was confirmed. That's why we lost the first round pick, which is also a bad look on the NFL because that gives validity to, see, when you give validity to any part of Brian Flores' story, it starts to put in question the validity of the entire story, gives it more credibility because he said this happened. It might have been denied. And after interviewing Tom Brady and Sean Payton, we lost the first round pick and got punished for it, which means they found us to have actually done it or to have believed to have done it, which makes everything else Brian Flores says have a little bit more credibility. So what's going to happen in court with Brian Flores potentially is he's going to be having depositions where they'll probably call Stephen Ross. They'll probably call Chris Grier. They'll call Denver Broncos, the Giants, all those other teams. And the crazy thing is this is bad for the NFL because remember the Bill Belichick text message to Brian Flores saying congratulations before Flores had even been interviewed, but it was actually meant for Brian Daboll. Y'all remember all of this? It's just evidence on top of evidence that looks really bad. It's like you brought me in just to be a Rooney Rule candidate when you already had identified who was going to get the job before you even interviewed me. And once again, it goes hand in hand with my character was smeared. And this is why teams also didn't give me an opportunity. And who smeared the character? They believe it was out of the Miami organization. This is what's believed. All of this is adding up. And you want to know the biggest thing of all that makes it even worse? Is acknowledging that Brian Flores may have never really have been the problem. Now, I'm not condoning his interaction with Tua Tagovailoa, but he may have never been the real problem in Miami. And on top of that, even though I'm not condoning the behavior that was alleged of him towards Tua, but I have since said this a lot. What do you do as a head coach when you're given broken pieces and you're expected to operate it like it's brand new and never broken? You get bad pieces. You get a quarterback that's good enough not to be good enough. And you're supposed to just operate out of that and end up getting fired, just like Mike McDaniel might be doing soon. And I gotta say this too. What happened to all the people that went on the see, this is what happens when you get a real coach when Miami was all flashy and amazing in year one? When it was all good in year one. What happened to all those people who threw it in others' face? This is what a real coach can do. Where's that same energy for Mike McDaniel, the real coach? Where is that? What happened to it? What happened to it? Which is proof that a lot of this was also the building up of Mike McDaniel was a knock on Brian Flores. Everybody who had that sentiment, this is what a real coach can do, you were really just hating on Brian Flores because Tua in a lot of situations. And now look at us. Full circle. So back to Chris Grier. I went down that soapbox to give you a underlying basis. This is an open lawsuit that can cost the NFL millions and millions and millions of dollars. I mean, this can be large. A jury of your peers, they're probably, if they're found liable, then the jury can decide potentially punitive, like how much money the NFL has to pay. This can be massive. And Chris Grier could end up being a star witness. And if that be the case, you think they want to consider firing Chris Grier? It's logic, like normal logic that leads you to this. Would you fire the guy who may have the information that can bring you down? And again, all alleged. Maybe Chris Grier has the information and he says, oh, it's all lies. Well, I don't know, but this is alleged. Because you start to wonder, how can Chris Grier be the longest standing general manager in the NFL to not win a playoff game? And that record was held for years now, I believe. How could that be? And now here we are at a crossroad and we value continuity when this team is a train wreck. Make it make sense. And I personally feel like Stephen Ross does not want to fire anyone, obviously because of that too. But at the same token, it's like they're holding on for dear life. Like, come on, just go win a few games to make it respectable. Can you get to 6 or 7 wins so that, they'll hate me for it, but I can push this forward another year? Make it respectable so that maybe we can get to building something that's competing again. You're killing me here. Because if you win 3-4 games and I don't fire you, then it probably gonna make me look even more guilty. You're killing me here. Do something. And McDaniel is just a little lone victim in the middle of all of it. Has no idea this all started before he even got here. So I say all that to say this. Chris Grier's fate is so unknown, and we can speculate all we want, but we have no clue whether they're going to move on, move him up in the front office somewhere else, or just keep him in that position. We have no idea. And this is the question for everybody. How could you not? Yeah, they are. Well, I don't know. And all. That's why nobody knows. That's why we're a train wreck, because some things at this point should be obvious. And for us, we know they're not. And that's even a bigger problem. It's an even bigger problem. So Chris Grier's fate, Stephen Ross may not even know. And this is the point. It's so bad. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. So we'll keep an eye on it. And if any new information come to suggest one way or the other, I got you here. All right. But let's move forward to Mr. Mike McDaniel. His fate. His fate is looking very grim, but there is hope. Why? Because first of all, he was hired on the wrong premise. You hired him with the wrong foundation. You hired him with the wrong intentions. Mike McDaniel was brought in because he was a coach that was going to follow suit and do what was asked of him, not have his own personality and his own, like obviously he has his own personality, but I believe they wanted someone who they could, I don't like to use the word control, but control. That's why they hired him. Is he a good offensive mind? At least a lot of people in the league say so. And you have a conundrum here because you don't know if Mike McDaniel is a good coach or not. You really don't. I know some people are going to speculate, no, he's not. Oh, yeah, I mean, he's good. You don't know because he was tasked to come in and fix Tua. Make Tua look like a competent quarterback in this NFL who can lead a franchise. And he temporarily succeeded. And this is what tells me he is a smart man. Here's why. I always tell y'all this analogy. He came in and he got the biggest bang for his buck. He simply came in and said, everything you don't do well, we're going to put in this box and we're going to throw it over there. Why are we trying to do the things you don't do well? That's not helping you out. That's just showing where you are and how bad things can be. So we're going to take everything you don't do well and throw it over in that box and hide it, get rid of it. And when he did that, he took everything that Tua does well and he put it in another box and he said, this is the box that we're going to covet. This is the box that we're going to operate out of. This is the box that we're going to make sure that we do it more than anything so that people know, look at how good and efficient and just how consistent he is. And the reason why that was so smart for Mike McDaniel, for those who haven't heard me explain this yet, is because I always use Shaquille O'Neal as an analogy. For those who don't know who Shaquille O'Neal is, Hall of Fame basketball, big man, most dominant player of all time in the NBA. You get him in the paint, he is unstoppable. Even if you hack and foul him, he's still unstoppable. Only thing he was terrible at were free throws. And shooting the ball outside of the paint, obviously, but he never did it. So I use him as an analogy. And I use him as my example because this is what makes Mike McDaniel smart. And I'm a numbers guy. I get it. And it was genius of him. So when you take Shaquille O'Neal, if Shaq takes 20 shots a game, if 10 of them are in the paint and he's 10 for 10, and 10 of them are out of the paint and he's 3 for 10, that means Shaq is shooting pretty much at when you do the percentages, you're 13 out of 20. He's shooting 13 out of 20, which is 75% from the field. No, well, hold on. I got my math messed up now. All right. It's 5 and 15, 65% from the field. There you go. That's 65% from the field. And from a shooting percentage, that's still great, right? But what Mike McDaniel did to Shaq being Tua, he came in and said, you are not going to take any more shots outside the paint. And now we're going to have you only take shots in the paint. We're going to give you 20 shots in the paint instead of 10 and 10. And now Shaq is going 19 for 20, 18 for 20 every game. Did Shaquille O'Neal improve as an all-around basketball player, or did his numbers improve? That's the question you got to think about. That's what happened in Miami. Did Shaquille O'Neal improve as a basketball player, or did his numbers improve? Everybody out here, Tua definitely got better when McDaniel came. Did he get better or did his numbers get better? And this is what a lot of people, they find this whole thing, it's hard for them to understand. That's what happened. Now, watch this. The NBA was thrown off by the change in Shaq. Oh my gosh, he's in the paint more often. They're taking more in the paint. But now teams in the NBA are saying, let's, on the way down the field, let's smother the paint and let's put two guys on him before he even get the entry pass. Before he even get the entry pass. So now what teams are doing, they're making sure that he can't even get the entry pass half the time. And then when he does get the entry pass, as soon as he get it, foul him. They've changed their strategy. And now he can't take the 20 shots anymore. Now he has to shoot free throws, which he's not good at. And his attempts from the paint have gone down because they've denied the entry pass some. Same equivalence with the Miami Dolphins. They've taken away the middle, where Tua is all the things in the box that he's strong with. They've game planned to take those away. And they've been trying their very best to figure it out. How can we now overcome, what defenses are doing to us now within the box we kept? And ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell y'all, this offseason, while none of us were looking back in February, Mike McDaniel went on a journey. He went out in the wilderness and he went searching for that old box of things that Tua didn't do well. And he looked high, he looked low, and he just couldn't find it. And miraculously in March, he just said, there it is. There it is. He grabbed it, ran back, opened the box in front of Tua and said, the only way we're going to make this work is we got to take a few of these things out and we just got to work on them this offseason. We got to work on them this offseason. We're going to have to take this one out right here, throwing outside the numbers. We're going to have to take this one out right here, getting past your first read with confidence, with pressure coming as well. If we can maybe do those two things. And I don't know about y'all, but that's what Tua, I'm watching live on the field. Mike McDaniel open up the outside throws. Tua not pulling the trigger every time on the first read. And sometimes like, ooh, that's too, nah, that ain't there. Let me go to the next one. I'm seeing it. But what level of play are you getting in the process? It has not been a high level of play. It has not. When you look at the 5 games, the last 2 have been the best ones. The first 3 were horrible. The one versus Buffalo, it was actually good. It's just that it came to bite them in the end. In the last game, another good game, but not good enough because he's still trying to work through some of those things and doing them consistently. So we don't even know if Mike McDaniel's a good coach because he hasn't been able to scheme anything up yet that has overcome the limitations. He hasn't been able to. But he's also working with the limited potential of a quarterback. That's the reality. So if you had a better quarterback, would it unlock the things that you just won't allow Tua to do because you know he can't? Which would open up the offense anymore? Would you be able to? We don't know. And that's the tough thing because Mike McDaniel, you were hired to do that one thing and you did it. And now teams adjusting. It's making you look bad as a coach, but I understand the limitations. We don't know. We might get a new quarterback and keep Mike McDaniel, and he's a bad coach. Like, oh my gosh, you ain't doing nothing. This quarterback got the arm. This quarterback can throw outside, and we don't know. Or he can go to a whole new level. We don't know. We don't know. So Mike McDaniel's fate is up in the air, and I kind of have him categorized as a potential scapegoat. I have him categorized as a potential scapegoat in all of this because if he does get fired, it could very well be because of the limitations. He's only doing what he can work with. And he knows if he goes outside of that, it could be even worse. And people don't realize that. They just automatically think, well, if he was better, Tua would do better. No, maybe if he opened up things to what Tua don't do well, things could be worse. Just like the excuse for Tua, he's also dealing with a bad O-line and all type of stuff. It's not looking good for Mike. And I think he's going to get fired within the next 3 weeks. He has to go on some type of win streak that is definitely, obviously impressive. That's what's going to have to happen. And it's going to have to start now. Versus the Chargers at home. Justin Herbert and company coming in. And and I would love to say, well, their O-line is beat up bad and they're struggling because of it, but our defensive line ain't helping. He's going to have to figure out a way to get some wins or he's going to be a huge scapegoat. I'm going to tell you now, I think Mike's going to get fired. And that'll be 2 head coaches fired in the last 3 years, actually. Miami Dolphins, number 1. Salute to somebody in the chat said, look at TD's storytelling. This is actually how the channel used to be all the time, breaking down things to its entirety and telling it through this type of form for everybody to understand. What happened about 2 years ago, I just got tired of it and explained to everybody what our fate was and what was going to end up happening over the next 3 years. And here we are 2 years and a few months into exactly what I said. So I stopped storytelling. I stopped blah, blah, blah. But I feel like we're about to enter a new realm into a new future. So you're going to get a lot more of this. Actually breaking it all down. So stay tuned. Let's move forward, though. Tua Tagovailoa. Tua Tagovailoa. Tua's fate. Tua is in no man's land right now when it comes to the Miami Dolphins. We know who has his back, but those gentlemen we just talked about, their fates. I think a majority of the fan base is now starting to wake up and open up to the facts. And here's the important thing about the facts. People forever have been arguing about what's around Tua and justifying or qualifying why or why not he has been successful based off of what's been around him. You haven't done this. You haven't done that. You're not helping him with this. You're not helping him with that. Well, it's not fair that he has to do this. It's not fair that he has to do that. And man, I mean, he doesn't play defense. He didn't like all of that's all it's been. And I have been one of, there are a few of us out here, but I've been one of the, at least content creators, one of the only ones telling you all for the longest, this is where you're fooling yourself. You're under the impression that if we put the right pieces around, we can compete for a Super Bowl. And I have consistently tried to tell people, I don't care if you got the best O-line in the NFL, top weapons and everything. You are not going to compete for a Super Bowl with Tua Tagovailoa. You might go win 11, 12, 13 games, but you are not going to compete for a Super Bowl with Tua Tagovailoa. I don't care how much work you put around him. And by the way, for those who are like, yeah, that's where we disagree and you're wrong. Okay, that's fine. It's an opinion of mine. I recognize that. It doesn't make it the gospel. It doesn't make me right. It's an opinion. But let me tell you how many factors go with my opinion and how many factors don't go with yours. First of all, some of you don't even stop to take the time to realize putting everything around him is nearly impossible. 2 teams max every year have a roster where everything's around their quarterback. And that's being generous to say 2 teams every year. That's being generous. Like even recently, Eagles, that's about it. Anybody else team had everything around them? Maybe the Lions, even though they dealt with the most injuries in the league, but that happens. Which is another point. First of all, it's almost impossible to do it. And even if you do it, it won't last more than 2 to 3 years. It's almost impossible. So you're asking for something nearly impossible to do something that ain't going to happen even if you did it, in my opinion. That's number one. Number two, you're also asking that even if you were to do that, that everybody stays healthy. Ask the Lions how that worked out. That roster was loaded. Everybody got hurt, which is another factor that brings your chances of putting everything around him to begin with. It brings it down, which once again, even if you were successful in all of this, he ain't the guy that's going to help you win a Super Bowl anyway. But that's the opinion. But I'm still pointing out all the factors that y'all asking for to make him the guy are almost impossible. You already got a top receiving core. You already had a top rushing game. You had a top secondary at one point. You already had top high-level safeties. You had a good pass rush. Like we've had so much already around him, and all we got to show for it is picking at a specific unit with O-line. Ladies and gentlemen, even if we fix the O-line this year, y'all just going to be talking about the defense. Even if you fix the defense, 2 years from now, y'all going to be talking about the receivers again because Tyreek done. Oh, we spreading it around, making some plays right now. Eventually, y'all going to be talking about A-Chain like you were talking about Jakeem Grant. Because let's not forget, ladies and gentlemen, early on, Jakeem Grant, we just loved us some Jakeem Grant. He made a few passes here and there. He was returning kicks. Oh, Jakeem Grant. Soon as Tua got him and things weren't looking good, oh my gosh, man, we got guys like Jakeem Grant. Y'all going to treat A-Chain the exact same way. Y'all gonna end up doing him. I'm telling you now, I'm calling it now. 2 years from now, y'all gonna be talking down on A-Chain when he don't make a few plays that you love for him to make. I done seen these cycles too many times for our team. Y'all gonna really be, well, we got little guys like A-Chain catching the ball. Right now he catching them and y'all like, yeah. And then next thing you know, we need big receivers. We gotta stop having A-Chain catching and put up big receivers. Y'all gonna flip up. Y'all gonna flip it up for whatever makes sense for you in your pursuit of something that's highly unlikely. That's how far we've gotten. And we don't realize it. We're trying to nitpick everything to try to get it perfect to give that guy a better chance. And in essence, here's the bottom line of what you're not realizing. You actually have a unseen desire for the team to carry Tua instead of Tua to have responsibility of carrying the team. You don't realize that's what you're doing in essence, needing the team to carry Tua as long as you can give him the credit for the outcome. You just want to give him the credit for the good outcomes. That's why we lost the other day and everybody, Tua played well. You can't say it was his fault we lost. If that's your main thing, like some of y'all watch the game just to be like, come on, Tua. Yeah, he got more yards. All right, he about at 240. Man, all right. Like some of y'all like, I'm talking to some of y'all heart right now. Well, I probably ain't talking to many of y'all because y'all don't watch guys like me, because I'm talking directly to people who do this stuff. That's why none of them watch me anymore. I convict them. They feel guilty when they listen to me. This is why I can't listen to this guy no more. He's an idiot. He don't know ball. This is why. Because I talk about these things and it starts convicting people. And people, pride is just so pride, man. Their pride. That's why some of them silent right now, because they don't have a leg to stand on, but they just still holding out hope. They're still holding out hope. That's what's going on, man. That's what's happening. Tua Tagovailoa is not a quarterback who's going to actually help doing some of the lifting for you to win a Super Bowl. There is no lift. There's no lift, and that's the problem. In a game where you need lift. And I don't like making comparisons, but let's just be honest. Like when you really look at that Buffalo Bills, New England Patriots game, and you look at a guy like Drake May, you can say all you want. Drake May's not a good quarterback. He's a bum, blah, 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 blah. Maybe. But in that moment, in that game, I have never seen Tua play 4 quarters like that, ever. I'm not talking about against a bad team in week 6 or nothing like. I'm not talking about a bad team. I'm talking about big game, everything on the line. The world watching. This is a big stage. One of the best teams in the league you going up against. And you play 4 quarters of no blink football. Didn't blink. I'm here to compete match for match. Let's go. In another play. In another play. I'm going to make another play. In another play. Tua has never had a game like what we just witnessed. Never. 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 Year 6 and never. Not one. 4 quarters. Big team. Never. And you know why I've been saying never so long? Because I was waiting on the first person in the chat to say Baltimore, and there it is. I was just waiting. I knew it was coming. Didn't Tua throw 2-3 picks in the first half of that game? This is what I'm talking about. I said for 4 quarters competing mano-a-mano, not no little late comeback, bad secondary. No. I said 4 quarters of non-blink football. Just, okay, Josh, I got you. I one-up you. Oh, okay, so you're going to respond. Well, let me one-up you again. Okay, I see where this is going. Now, let me one-up again. What's up? Keep going. Let's see who break first. Never. He has never. That's what I'm saying. See, we'll love that little comeback at the end in Baltimore. When is our quarterback just going to have against a good team a flawless game? Yeah, I know a lot of y'all forgetting that 6 touchdown game. The man threw 2 or 3 picks, and 2 or 3 were dropped. Y'all are never, y'all don't even remember that. He said, yeah, but you said fourth quarter. No, I didn't. I literally started it out by saying having a game where you didn't blink the entire game, 4 quarters, not fourth quarter, 4 quarters. That's what I said. Because that's what matters. Remember all them Brady games from start to finish, dueling it out with Peyton Manning and other guys? Y'all do realize in the big games, when you get a matchup with quarterbacks going back and forth, defense is playing great, but the quarterback's like making unbelievable, like, man, never. When you don't have none of those, it's hard to believe. And this is what I'm saying when you evaluate it. 6 years in, if you're a guy, you would have had 10 of those by now. 6 years in, if you were one of those guys, you would have 10 of them by now. Josh got 10 of them. Lamar got 10 of them. Mahomes got 10. Jared Goff probably coming up on 10. Matthew Stafford got them. Not one. Start to finish. I got one of the best teams on the other side of the field against me. One of the best defenses in the league going up against me. Start to finish, I was cooking them. I was cooking them. All game, I was cooking them. All game. I was cooking them the whole game. Great defense, cooking them. We don't have one example. Year 6. Almost every quarterback in the NFL got one. Except maybe some rookies or second-year people. Almost every quarterback in the NFL got one, even the bad ones. Thank you, starting 6 sports picks. I believe it. I believe what you're saying. He said, dang TD, I promise you can love again. Yeah, I actually know I can love again. But I got to have the right one. I can't just accept anybody. I don't want a rebound. I didn't ask for a rebound from Tannehill. I didn't want an unhealthy situation. I know I could love again, but I got to find the right one. You can't just throw somebody else on me and say, love them. No. No. I got to find the right one. Salute to Flicks with the donation. Said, remember, Reed Sinnett versus Bengals preseason. We remember. Sonny, you're right, but that is still one game in 6 years. I don't know what one game y'all talking about in 6 years. Chargers opening game 2023. You see what I'm saying? I didn't expect for you to bring the Chargers game out, but the Chargers were one of the worst teams in the NFL that year. They had the worst rank. They had the 32nd ranked defense in the NFL. Y'all grasping at straws. Go look it up. They had the 32nd ranked defense in the NFL. I thought we had something too. And then as they just kept losing and they kept giving up 30 and 40, I was like, oh, yeah, makes sense now. It makes sense now. Trust me when I tell you, we have zero examples. I have seen every tour game, evaluated everyone, watched the film 2-3 times on everyone. He has never went toe-to-toe with an actual good team, just 4 quarters of delivering. Never. You can keep searching. I'll have your answer. Never. TD, the Cowboys game count to you or no? 6 field goals, and you gonna ask if that count? Do we understand? And I ain't coming at you, but this is what I'm talking about. We gonna ask if that count? Do you know what it means to go at another team's neck all game with a good defense? Touchdowns and touchdowns. 4 quarters of delivering it. Remember that Lions-Bills game? Last year, that type of game. Drake May versus the Bills this week. Never folded. We gonna try to qualify a game where we score 6 field goals to barely win? No, I can't count. Come on. 5 field goals, somebody said. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. But like we got to stop making it hard to realize there are signs, some things that are just supposed to happen in 6 years. There are some things that's supposed to happen in 6 years. And I'm telling you now, big boy game in a big moment against a big opponent, 4 quarters of just greatness is one of the things that for Tua Tagovailoa should have actually happened already at least 5 times. At a minimum. At least 5 times. It should have already happened at least 5 times. Just balled out and dominated. Don't matter that team is a great team across from you. At least 5. But we're just okay with, hey, just and you know what? If we're going to be honest, those who feel like, Tua is the guy if we just work around him. Can you be honest for a moment and tell me if I'm lying or not? You watch them games every Sunday. You're okay with the bubble screens and stuff. You're just like, okay, as long as the guys get yards after. And as long as it's not incomplete. Like, we can have a 1-yard bubble screen that gets tackled right away. Oh, man, but at least it was a completion. Oh, okay. And let them get 30 yards. Yeah, that's 30 yards for Tua. Like, y'all, like I know y'all be grasping for straw. Y'all just be like, hey, as long as somebody make a play with the ball and get him more, that's more for him in his numbers. Some of y'all probably grimace when the ball go past 15 yards, hoping it ain't one of them ones. Some of y'all probably, oh, yes. Come on, Waddle. Yeah. Whew. Like some of y'all don't know what's on the other end of it. You don't know how confident you can even be anymore. And I know y'all be pulling your hair out on those deep ball underthrows. Like, I mean, like y'all probably be watching it like, defender, don't catch up. Yes, he didn't catch up to it. like, I know you do. I know you do. Because people like me on the other side, oh, please, hopefully get it. Like, yes, the defender didn't know where the ball was. Or Tyreek slowed down enough and they kept moving and then he was by himself. How can you have receivers? Like, how would y'all think about this with Tyreek Hill when he was running those deep balls and having to come back for it, right? How can you go from beating two guys, right, by 6 yards, and then right before the ball is caught, they're 6 yards past you? Like, you dusted them, the ball thrown, you stop, they run past you while they slowing down, and when you catch it, you're able to turn around and try to make a move and everything. Like, make it make sense. This, like honestly, this, y'all don't see how this is why other teams look at us like a clown show. Like I've been called clown more than anything, but man, this clown been right. And you don't see how other people be like, man, these guys are like clowns. Like that fan base. I can't believe they like really love that stuff. Like they worship him. That's how people look at us. Like we worship him. And it's not good, man. And it makes sense because stuff like that, we've grown so, like, we have changed the rules so much that people are around here talking about, no, Tua intentionally underthrows it because it's a higher probability pass. Oh my God. You're right, but oh my gosh, when did they ever start playing football like that? Hey, your guy winning by 6 yards. If you throw it perfect over the top, it's a touchdown. But you know what? It's a higher probability to underthrow it. Only he knows to come back, and we can have a higher guarantee of a first down. So let's just go with those. Man, I don't know how to explain it no more. I don't know how to explain it no more. We done got wild. We have gotten wild, y'all. We have gotten wild. Wow with it. We like, this is where we are now. Like call me the clown all you want. Like, the problem with Tua's fate is we don't even know that either. Why? Because first of all, the money. Number two, even if you wanted to get off the money, you just gonna have to, you might have to cut them. Everybody talk about, oh, there's teams that don't want them. I mean, you know what I will say? There's always stupid organizations in the NFL, bad organizations, and Tua would be a good bridge. Tua is a guy you bring in, new atmosphere, new scenery, put a few pieces and try to, figure out things for the future. He's the bridge unless he keeps doing better and better. And then when they get strung along, I don't know. If I'm the Miami Dolphins, and a lot of y'all gonna be mad at me about this, I'm not eating Tua's cap hit next year. Unless he's traded, Tua's going to be my quarterback next year. But I'm stripping the roster. All the young guys stay, but Chubb got to go. Phillips is gone. Yeah, I'm purging the roster. And I got my new GM, I got my new coach, and they're evaluating the young guys. We'll be the Jets like the Jets are this year, but without the veterans and all the talent. I'm purging my roster. And then the year after, we'll talk quarterbacks. Because I don't want to go get rid of Tua, go get a new quarterback, and then start purging the roster around them. No. I told myself I'll give it to Tannehill. And in other words, I'll give it 7 years. And not to evaluate Tua anymore. I'm not evaluating him anymore. I don't evaluate him like that anymore. I just keep on reminding people, he ain't it. He ain't it. He ain't it. He ain't it. Truth is, we don't really know many of their fates. But we do need to face reality. This ain't it. I'm about to get up out of here. I'm going to try to go live again today and talk about a draft plan for the future potentially and how we should move forward for the rest of the season, whether they do it or not, obviously. But we need to start talking about it because that's the real conversation. That's the real conversation. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Thank you for the love and support. Salute to Southside BK. Hope all is well with you, brother, and the family. Thank you, man. I appreciate that, as always, right? Big ups to everybody that hits the like button. Shake Money said, did I get the cash app? You showed me some love in the cash app? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The homie just showed me some love. Malachi said, great show. Shake Money in the building. Showed me some love as well with the 10-piece. I appreciate y'all, man. Malachi, Anthony, that Todd Cummings. Salute to y'all. Appreciate the love and support via the Cash App. Showing love. Hey, but real quick before I get out of here, too, though, let me make sure I have this for y'all. Is that it? No, I'll just give it to you later then. But yeah, thank y'all again for the love and support. Appreciate you all, everything you do and loving on the channel. I don't know how to say it enough. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I will see y'all later today. Fins up no matter what, though. Fourth and Forever is going to be starting in about 20 minutes. I'm going to go get ready for that. I'll see y'all later. Don't forget, this stream is being powered by Sleeper. Take advantage of that $100 deposit match up to $100 using code TD PHINS. I will see y'all soon. Peace. I am out. Love you.